Hello, pals. Hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday. As you guys are watching this, I'm going to be in Las Vegas with my girlfriend and my friends for my 4th EDC in a row, which is the Electric Daisy Carnival. It's a big outdoors electronic music festival, basically, and there's anywhere between like 120 to 160,000 people that show up all at the same time. It is nuts. It's an experience. I look forward to it every year, but I do get more and more tired every year when I go to these things, man, because like it goes until 6 in the morning. So sometimes you're leaving the venue and the sun's coming up and you just feel like a total degenerate. But that's what I'm doing this weekend. I don't know what you guys are doing. Those are my plans. But I doubt you guys clicked on this video to hear me talk about EDC. I'm sure you probably clicked on the video to hear me talk about Black Ops 4, which is what you guys are watching right now. Again, I got to play this game a little early, actually twice this last week, once on Tuesday in a private session that we were not allowed to capture, and then once on Thursday for the multiplayer reveal in Los Angeles. I got to play for an hour. We played 3 games. The first game did not go too well. On the other team, we were playing against Drifter, T. Martin, Chaos Silencer, the guy who runs Charlie Intel, and I think one other person. I can't remember who they were. It was a stacked team. It was a good team. So the first match did not go too great. This was the second match, and I'm actually playing the new game mode called Control. I really enjoyed this game mode. It's almost like Sabotage and Demolition had a baby, kind of. Or maybe it's more like, it's like Demolition and Domination had a baby. So in Demolition you had these 2 bomb sites that when you were on offense, you needed to destroy both bomb sites. When you were on defense, you needed to prevent them from being destroyed. Well, in this game mode, you don't plant any bombs. You just capture it as if it's a domination hardpoint. And it's basically first to 3 wins the whole game, as you guys can see from the scoreboard right there. So because you're not having to plant any bombs or defuse any bombs or anything like that, the action runs a lot faster. So I'm glad that they did it in a best of 5 setting. It makes sense because these rounds end up kind of over before you know it. At this point, I was feeling a little pressure to do something other than what I was doing, so I just camped this window with the 3-round burst, which was probably my favorite gun so far in the game. I mentioned it in the video that I posted a couple days ago, the first video that I posted, that the time to kill is a lot longer in this game, like substantially longer. Not only are you starting with 150 HP, which, by the way, doesn't exactly sound the way that you would think, because a lot of these guns do more damage than guns in previous titles, but that's not the only factor here. You also have to factor in the fact that you can equip body armor, which gives you a little extra HP, but doesn't protect you against headshots. If you hit headshots against someone who's using armor, then the armor effect is null and void. It doesn't work. And then also, you can have a healer on your team, which if he pops his special ability, can jack your HP all the way up to 200. So you're going to have to like really hose people down with bullets in this game before you get a kill. But the burst weapon, I found like if I just kept a safe distance, I wasn't getting a lot of 1 burst because I felt like it was nearly impossible to get a 1 burst, but I was getting a lot of 2 bursts. And especially with high caliber, I was able to get a lot of kills just because the recoil naturally kicked up and hit him with headshots. And here I just failed trying to punch somebody because I ran out of bullets. So yeah, that's Control in a nutshell. It plays pretty fast, and especially if you have a spawn beacon like you just saw me drop right there, if you can plant that near one of the objectives and the other team doesn't find it, then you can just continuously spawn there. And if your teammates spawn in there, like you guys are seeing on the screen, you actually get some score points, some score streak points for that. Overall, yeah, I had a really good time with this game type. I can't wait to play the full game and see how it plays on other maps. And I guess I also wanted to talk today about not just this game type or this game in general, but I just wanted to talk about what an interesting crossroads I think Call of Duty is at right now. If you ask me, people have been saying, when Battlefield 1 came out, you had this small pocket of the internet saying it was going to be a COD killer, when all kinds of different games, Overwatch, doesn't matter, like any popular first-person shooter, Destiny, whenever it would come out, you would have these small pockets of the internet claiming that it was going to be the death of COD, and I would just sort of laugh it off because even if their player base has dwindled somewhat from previous titles, they're making so much money off of microtransactions. with this game. And I imagine the player base is going to be a little higher for this, or a little bit more for this game, just because it's such an established franchise within the series. So it's really hard for me to see a situation where this game comes out and there's not more people playing this than World War II or Infinite Warfare. But this is an interesting time for COD because, if in my opinion, and maybe I'm biased just because I love the genre so much, but the Battle Royale genre has really disrupted, I think, this entire space. Not just, I mean, if you want to call it shooters, both first-person and third-person shooters. It's games like H1Z1, that they made a little bit of a dent, and then PUBG came around, and all of a sudden a lot of people were playing Battle Royale games, and then Fortnite came out, and it just exploded. And then all of a sudden you see Ninja playing with Drake, etc., etc. So really, I think one of the biggest determining factors to whether or not I think this game will be very successful, as opposed to just, because I have no doubt this game's going to be successful, whether or not it's explosively successful, I think that really depends on how their Blackout BR mode is going to run. I have hopes for it. I mean, what they kind of teased at the actual event was that it's going to feature maps and locations and characters from games littered all throughout the history of Call of Duty, which I'm on board for. The guys, Vaughn said that the map itself for Blackout was 1,500 times bigger than Nuketown, and you're going to use vehicles and helicopters and other means of transportation to get across the map. I generally don't like vehicles in BR games. I wasn't a big fan of how big the map was in PUBG, and I'm just not the biggest fan of that game in general, but I think there is a way that they can do this and still have it fun for a player like me that prefers more gun-on-gun rather than helicopter versus Humvee or something like that. Speaking of helicopters, the helicopter was really strong. And the thing is at these capture events, no one ever equips a Stinger missile. No one. No one. It never happens. And so these helicopters end up staying up in the air the whole time, and they just crush you. But I digress. So yeah, I really firmly believe that whether or not this Call of Duty, whether or not Black Ops 4 is tremendously successful, is going to rest squarely on the shoulders of their BR mode. Now, there's going to be some competitive players, there's a lot of people that still enjoy the 5v5, 6v6 sort of competitive vibe aspect of Call of Duty, and I don't think people are going to stop playing that, but I do think it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out in terms of whether or not more people are playing the BR mode or more people are playing the competitive mode. And I'm curious to hear what your guys' predictions are for this scenario. Do you think more people are going to play the 5v5 mode, or do you think more people are going to play the BR mode? That's what I want to ask you in the comment section right now. A lot of people, when they found out that there was going to be a BR mode in Call of Duty, they immediately expressed skepticism. This clip is sick, by the way. 1, 2. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. 3. 3. One more. 4. And I think I got one more. Hold on. Wait for it again. 5. And then this guy runs right at me. Okay, so yeah, that's Ruin's grappling hook right there. So I heard a lot of people express skepticism that they think that Call of Duty isn't going to, you can't just I don't think you can just drag and drop. You can't just take the existing COD formula and drop it into a Battle Royale game, because it just wouldn't work. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that you need to take into account. Maybe something that works really well in a 5v5 competitive setting is going to work like absolute dog shit in a Battle Royale setting. That being said, and I mentioned this in the last video that I posted, Vaughn isn't the kind of person and Treyarch, their guiding philosophy, it seems, they're not the type of studio that would want to just drop in a game mode like BR without having it be something that was unique to Call of Duty. So I don't think it would make sense for them to sort of try to compete with Fortnite in a sense of all of a sudden you can build walls and stairs and stuff like that. I don't know if that would be the right way to go. Maybe it would be. It's such a new genre, I really don't know. But if they can find a way to make perks, attachments, weapons, different variants of weapons, if they can find a way to have that be a rewarding experience without it being frustrating? Does that mean that you get like 3 times the health or 5 times the health or the same amount of health? I really don't know, but I'm very, very, very curious to see what they have in store. So hopefully they have some kind of a trailer for us by the end of summer. Okay, so I'm actually going to call it there. I got to get a bunch of stuff done before I drive to Vegas later tonight. We're going in tonight. It's Thursday as I'm recording this. And so I don't have too much time to sit here and bullshit with you guys. But I'm going to let the rest of the gameplay play out so you guys can see how this match ended up. It was not the worst game I've had. I mean, it's not like pub stomping because, again, we're playing against pretty decent players. But I did end up having a pretty good game. And I thank you guys for clicking on the video. If you guys like this video, click like. If you like the channel, click subscribe. If you really like the channel, you can click the bell notification. That is somewhere on your screen. I know not where. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good weekend and take it easy.
Wasted firebreak.
Control. Prevent hostile forces from taking our zones.
This'll knacker someone's day.
TACOM, deploy UAV my location.
TAC deploy beacon online.
We're contesting B. Hostiles have taken out TAC deploy beacon. Losing Bravo.
TACOM, establish attack chopper above.
We're defending B.
R7 above. Bangs out. 0 damage. Drone above.
Enemy has Bravo. Enemy CUAV established above.
CUAV mission timeline 50% check. Micro 5-7 sustaining damage. Hoover is down. CUAV has left mission area.
Enemy attack chopper above. Enemy Hellstorm detected.
Wire in place.
We're defending A. We're defending Alpha.
TAC deploy beacon planted.
Down to lives. We're defending A. We're running low on lives. Mission clock is running down. Friendly TAC deploy beacon offline. The enemy team have no lives left. No more lives. No more chances.
Wasted.
We're defending Alpha. Black Ops forces are taking A. We're defending A.